Good morning, students. We are going to continue with the same chapter, Evans tries an O level, and we were on page number 73. Last paragraph I am reading again because till now we have read that there are some characters in the story, like Evans is the protagonist, he is the central character. Then we have Oxford prison's governor, and he actually took permission from the examination board secretary because he actually wanted to tell him that there is a prisoner whose name was Roderick Evans, and Evans was really keen to sit in the examination for an O level German language, and he wanted to get some academic qualification. And at the same time, we also came to know that all the precautions were taken by the governor so not to give any chance to Evans for his escape again, because Evans was generally known among the prison officers as Evans the Break, because Evans had escaped thrice in his life before, and they were expecting him to take his chances, to take risk, and he could surprise anybody again. He could make a plan of escaping. But this time, all the precautions were taken. This time, they were not taking any chances with Evans. And before, just a day before, Evans was visited by the senior officer Jackson, and Jackson and Evans were actually warm enemies. They were always irritating each other. They were having argumentations with each other. And when Jackson entered his cell, he asked him to take his bloody hat, means take his woolen, filthy hat away from his head. But he said that it was a kind of lucky charm for him, means it was actually very lucky for him, and because he had got the exam that day, he was not going to take it away or take it off. And this also shows, because Jackson allowed him to keep his cap on his head, it means that Jackson had a little compassion means he had a little pity or sympathy for Evans somewhere. Now this is page number 74. Just this once, then Shirley Temple. If there was one thing that Jackson genuinely loathed about Evans, it was his long wavy hair and get shaving. Now, what is the meaning of loathed here? Loathed means hated. Now, if there was one thing that Jackson genuinely hated about Evans, it was his long wavy hair. Means Jackson did not like his wavy or long hair. And he also asked him to get his shaving, to get his face shaved, because he had a lot of beard. At 8:45 the same morning, the Reverend Stuart McLeary left his bachelor flat in Broad Street and stepped out briskly towards Carfax. Now, what we are told here is, because this is the day when the examination was going to be held in the cell of Evans itself, and it was already now, timings are very important in this chapter, because this is 8:45. At 8:45, what happened? Reverend means respected Stuart McLeary. Who is this McLeary? He is going to be the invigilator. He is going to be the checker who is going to accompany Evans when he would be giving the he would be sitting for the exam, when he would appear for the exam. At that time, Stuart McLeary, he would be sitting with him as invigilator, निरीक्षक जिसको बोलते हैं हम. Left his bachelor flat in Broad Street means McLeary left his flat at 8:45 a.m. and he was stepping out of his house, and he was going to the prison, Oxford prison, because he was called as the invigilator by the governor. The weatherman reported temperatures considerably below the normal for June, early June, and a long black overcoat and a shallow round clerical hat provided welcome protection from the steady drizzle which had set in half an hour earlier and which now spattered the thick lenses of his spectacles. It means that weatherman in a program, maybe in a radio or on television, he had reported that the temperature would be normal and there could be drizzle. Drizzle means there could be rain outside. Then he says, and when he got out of his flat, this McCleary, he actually knew that it might rain that day, and it actually started raining. There was drizzling outside, and his spectacle had some of the water droplets on it. In his right hand, he was carrying a small brown suitcase which contained all that he would need for his morning duties, including a sealed question paper, a yellow invigilation form, a special authentication card from the examination board, a paper knife, a Bible, and a current copy of Church Times. Now, this is very important. These are the things which were actually taken, which were included in the luggage of McCleary, Stuart McCleary, the priest. When he got out of his room from his flat, he had all these things which were there in his suitcase. So we are going to start with a small brown suitcase. This question generally comes in board exams. When McCleary got out of his flat, what kind of things he had carried in the suitcase? So first of all, he had a brown suitcase. Number 2, a sealed question paper envelope. Number 3, a yellow invigilation form. Number 4, a special authentication card, means ID proof, which was given by the examination board. Then a paper knife was there, a Bible was there, and a copy of Church Times. A copy of Church Times means it was a kind of, you can say, a magazine. So all these things were carried by him: a small suitcase, sealed question paper envelope, yellow invigilation form, an authentication card which was given by examination board, paper knife, Bible, and a current copy of Church Times. All these things were carried by him. The 2-hour examination was scheduled to start at 9:15 a.m. and now the examination got started, and it was, means the examination was to start at 9:15 a.m. means it was scheduled. जो time था actually it was 9:15 when the examination was to start, and this McCleary, he got out of his room at 8:45. Half an hour before the start of the examination, he went out of his flat. Evans was lathering his face vigorously when Stephens brought in 2 small square tables and set them opposite each other in the narrow space between the bunk on one side and on the other a distempered stone wall. Next, Stephens brought in 2 hard chairs, the slightly less battered of which he placed in front of the table, which stood nearer the cell door. Now, what is the meaning of this paragraph? Evans was lathering. Lathering him here means he was actually trying to shave his head. His face. And vigorously means very with full force, very energetically he was lathering his face. He was trying to shave his face when Stephens brought in 2 small square tables, and at that very time Stephens entered the cell, and he was trying to keep the furniture. He was trying to put the some tables and some chairs inside the room, so to conduct the examination, and he placed it inside the cell. And Stephens also brought in 2 hard chairs, and the less battered here means the less broken was actually put on one side, and the other one just near the cell door. Jackson put in a brief final appearance. Behave yourself, laddie. Now, what is the meaning of this line? Actually, Jackson, before going away from the cell, he went back and he gave a final appearance, means final warning he wanted to give to Evans, and he said that he should behave properly. Behave yourself, laddie. Laddie here means boy. So he called him boy and he said that Evans should not do anything silly. He should behave properly and he should not try to escape. Evans turned and nodded, and these Jackson pointed to the pin-ups. Off means Jackson noticed that on the walls of the cell there were so many posters or so many other things which were placed, and he wanted Evans to take them away from the wall or off the wall. Evans turned and nodded again. I was going to take them down anyway. A minister, isn't he? The chap coming to sit in, I mean. But Evans said, yes, he was already ready to take those pin-ups, to take those posters away from the wall, because he knew that the person who was coming as invigilator was a minister, was a person from a church. How did you know that? Asked Jackson quietly. But Jackson was surprised that how all these things came to be known by Evans. How did he know? Well, I had to sign some forms, didn't I? And I couldn't help. But Evans told him that because Evans had to sign a lot of forms, and one of the forms had this information that the person who was coming as invigilator was a priest. Evans drew the razor carefully down his cheek again and left a neat swath in the white leather. Means Evans carried on with his shaving. He was trying to shave his face. Can I ask you something, Mr. Jackson? This is page number 75. Can I ask you something, Mr. Jackson? Why did they have to bug me in this cell? Now, what is the meaning of bug? Bug means shut. Why they are shutting me inside the cell? From Jackson, Evans wanted to ask a question, that why they were keeping an eye on him. He nodded his head vaguely to a point above the door. Now, what he actually wanted to show, because Evans had noticed that there was a microphone that was fitted just over the door, and he noticed it above the door, and he wanted to show it to Jackson also, and he wanted to know that why they were actually keeping an eye on him. Not a very neat job, conceded Jackson, and Jackson came to know that it was actually not done in a good way. Why? Because they actually wanted to put that microphone hidden and it should not be seen by Evans. Evans से छुप करके उन्होंने वो लगाया था microphone, but Evans had already seen it. They don't honestly think I am going to try to. But Evans again gave a warning, and he said that maybe the jail officials, the prison officials, they were not taking him seriously, and he could surprise anybody. They are taking no chances, Evans. Nobody in his senses would take any chances with you. But according to Jackson, he assured Evans that no chances would be taken by the authorities, and nobody was taking him lightly. They knew what Evans could do. Who is going to listen in? And then Evans asked that there was a microphone which was fitted just above the door. So who was going to listen to the things? I'll tell you who is going to listen in, laddie. It is the governor himself. See, he don't trust you a bloody inch, and nor do I. I will be watching you like a hawk. Evans, so keep your nose clean, clear. He walked towards the door. And at last, again, Jackson told a fact to Evans that Evans should not take this lightly now, and he was being watched by so many people, and governor was the one who was going to listen to the microphone. And at the same time, all the other people, they were watching him like a hawk, and he should not try to run away, and he should keep his nose clean. What is the meaning of this line? keep your nose clean means you should not do anything silly and don't try to escape. He walked towards the door. Evans nodded, but Evans nodded here means he actually gave a signal with the movement of the head. सिर हिला करके हाँ या ना करना. So he nodded his head. He moved his head. He had already thought of that, and number two handkerchief was lying ready on the bunk, a neatly folded square of white linen. Then what actually happened? There was a handkerchief also on the bunk, and just one more thing, Einstein. And then he turned again. Before going out, Jackson turned his face again and he asked, and he actually told Evans that just one more thing. Yeah, what's that? Good luck, old son. And he said he gave his best wishes to Evans before the exams. Jackson said good luck to him. In the little lodge inside, just inside the prison's main gates, Reverend S. McCleary signed his name neatly in the visitor's book and thence walked side by side with a silent prison officer just across the exercise yard to D Wing, where he was greeted by Jackson. And what actually happened? Reverend S. McCleary, he had reached the prison. He was just outside the main gates and he was writing his name and address on the visitor's book, and then with a silent prison officer he went inside the D wing and there he was handed over to Jackson. Means Jackson met him inside the D wing. The wing's heavy outer door was unlocked and locked behind again. The heavy inner door the same, and McCleary was handed into Stephen's keeping. Now what actually happened? McCleary went inside the D wing where he was greeted by Jackson. Then Jackson took him to inside of the prison, and they were going from various doors, and these doors were unlocked and locked again just after them, and McCleary was handed into Stephen's keeping. Means McCleary was sent with Stephens after that. Stephens actually took him and he took him to the main cell where Evans was being kept. Get the razor, murmured Jackson. But before going away from Stephens, and when Stephens took McCleary towards the room, he said, Jackson gave instructions to Stephens that they were required to get the razor also. Means they could not keep Evans with anything that could be used as a potential weapon. They could not take any kind of risk. So his razor, after the shaving, it is to be taken away. Jackson nodded. Means he moved his head. Well, keep your eyes skinned clear. And then he again asked, Jackson asked Stephens again to be very alert. Keep your eyes skinned means be open and fixed. Look carefully. Keep an eye on Evans. Stephen nodded again, and McCleary, his feet clanging up the iron stairs, followed his new guide and finally stood below a cell door, and where Stephens opened the peephole and looked through. Now what happened? Stephens again nodded, and McCleary, his feet clanging up the iron stairs means McCleary was just stepping up to the irons. There were iron stairs, and he was trying to climb it up, followed by the guide. Guide means Stephen was following him, and finally stood before a cell door where Stephens opened the peephole and looked through. And then they reached the cell door, and from the peephole, Stephens wanted McCleary to see the candidate inside. That's him, sir. Means this is the person who was going to sit for the exam. Evans, facing the door, sat quietly at the farther of the two tables, his whole attention riveted to a textbook of elementary German grammar. Stephens took the key from its ring, and the cell lock sprang back with a thudded metallic twang. Now, what happened? Evans sat quietly at the farther of the two tables. Evans was sitting at the second chair, which was just in the front of the door, and his whole attention was actually on the textbook. He was reading the textbook very carefully, very attentively, and it was an elementary German grammar book. Stephens took the key from its ring and then he opened the lock with a twang, with a metallic sound. This is page number 76. It was 9:10 a.m. when the governor switched on the receiver. He had instructed Jackson to tell Evans of the temporary little precaution. That was only fair. Now at 9:10 a.m., these timings are very important actually, because the examination was going to be scheduled to be started at 9:10, and it was already 9:15, and it was already 9:10 when governor switched on the receiver. Means which receiver they are talking about? Receiver means the receiver of the microphone that was fitted inside the cell. So governor switched on the receiver because he wanted to hear or listen what was going on inside the cell. He had instructed Jackson to tell Evans of the temporary little precaution. That was only fair. And governor had instructed Jackson that Evans should be told that they had put a microphone, as if Evans would not spot it. Because governor thought that he would not have had spotted, he would not have seen that there was a microphone, but he already knew it. But wasn't it all a bit theatrical, schoolboyish almost? How on earth was Evans going to try anything on today? But all the people like governor and the writer also, they were not expecting anything to happen. They were not expecting that Evans would take any chances this time, because he could not run away actually, according to them. If he was so anxious to make another break, why in heaven's name had not he tried it from the recreational block? Because if this man Evans was really interested in running away, he could have his escape from the recreational block. But now he was transferred to the D wing and in the Oxford prison, and which was the most, you can say, sheltered one. Means nobody could really run away from that place, because it was much looked after by the governor. And the recreational block, there were no such custody, or there was no such tight security in recreational block. Much easier, but he had not. And there he was now, sitting in a locked cell, all the prison officers on the alert, two more locked doors between his cell and the yard, and a yard with a wall as high as a haystack. Evans was as safe as houses. Means Evans was really safe, and he could not think of running away from that place, which was more, you can say, which was having more tight security more than the recreational block. So why he would try to run away from this cell? If he really was interested in his escape, he could do it from recreational block. But what is the difference? That he was sitting in a locked cell, and there were so many prison officers who were on alert. Then there were two more doors which were there in between the cell and the yard, and the yard wall was really high, and Evans was as safe as houses. So how he could try to have his escape again? It was almost impossible for him. Anyway, it would not be any trouble at all to have the receiver turned on for the next couple of hours or so. It wasn't as if there was going to be anything to listen to. Was it? Means for some time it would not be any trouble to him to have receiver. Means the governor was not troubled. Why? Because there was nothing to be heard, nothing to be to listen at. And amongst other things, an invigilator's duty was to ensure that the strictest silence was observed. But still, that little nagging doubt. Means invigilator had kept everything means he kept silence inside the cell and no talking was done, there was no movement, and invigilator and the candidate Evans, they were sitting quietly. But the most irritating thing for them was there was a doubt, nagging doubt. Nagging means irritable or maybe irritating doubt was there. And might Evans try to take advantage of McCleary, get him to smuggle in a chisel or two or a rope ladder or means then governor was afraid. He had these kind of suspicions in his mind. He had a doubt that maybe Evans would take advantage of McCleary. Maybe he would have asked McCleary to smuggle, to take some of the things which could be used for his escape, like maybe unknowingly or maybe knowingly, McCleary could take something with him inside the cell, like a chisel होती है, a tool for cutting wood or stone, जिसको हम छेनी बोलते हैं. So maybe a tool, you can say a chisel or a rope ladder, all these things could be taken inside by McCleary just to help Evans. Maybe they would have a connection. The governor sat up sharply. Now, governor had these kind of worries and he stood up, and it was all very well getting rid of any potential weapon that Evans could have used. But what about McCleary? What if, quite unwittingly, the innocent McCleary had brought in something himself, a jackknife perhaps, and what if Evans held him hostage with such a weapon? Now, governor was afraid that maybe it was quite possible, because they had actually kept an eye. They had taken all the precautions not to keep Evans with any potential weapon. But what about McCleary? Because McCleary had gone inside the cell and maybe unwittingly means unknowingly, he could have taken inside with him, which could be used as a weapon by Evans. Evans could attack with anything on anybody. He could attack with a jackknife, and he could kill McCleary also. And McCleary could be taken as hostage. He could attack him. The governor reached for the phone. It was 9:12 a.m. Means it was all, again the timing is important because examination was scheduled to start at 9:15, but it was already 9:12, and governor called, and he actually made a call from the phone. The examinee and the invigilator had already been introduced by Stephens when Jackson came back and shouted to McCleary through the cell door, "Can you come outside a minute, sir? You too, Stephens." Now, governor had made a call and he had asked Jackson to call McCleary out of the cell. Why? Because they actually wanted to frisk. Frisk क्या होता है? FRISK. Frisking means तलाशी लेना. So they actually wanted to check. They wanted to frisk McCleary. And because they had a doubt that maybe McCleary would have kept something that could be used as a weapon by Evans, and Evans could attack anybody with that weapon. Jackson quickly explained the governor's worries, and McCleary patiently held out his arms at shoulder level whilst Jackson lightly frisked his clothes. Something hard here, sir. And now Jackson started taking, you can say, started frisking him, and he actually found something hard in his pocket. "My reading glasses," replied McCleary, looking down at the spectacle case. And then McCleary told that the hard thing that was being touched by Jackson was his glasses. Uski ऐनक है, uski specs है. It was his spectacles. Jackson quickly reassured him, and bending down on the landing thumb flicked the catches on the suitcase. And then Jackson started opening the suitcase. He wanted to see what kind of things were carried inside the suitcase or briefcase. This is page number 77. Then he picked up each envelope in turn, carefully passed his arms along their surfaces, and seemed satisfied. He riffled cursorily enough through a few pages of Holy Writ and vaguely shook the church times. Means what happened? He picked up each envelope. Means all the envelopes were taken one by one by the senior officer Jackson, and he carefully touched all the surfaces of the envelopes with his palms. With his hands, he touched all the envelopes. He wanted to know, he wanted to see whether there was something hard inside those envelopes or not. And seemed satisfied, means there was nothing fishy, there was nothing like that. And he ruffled cursorily through a few pages of Holy Writ. What is the meaning of Holy Writ here? Holy Writ means Bible. So then he took the Bible in his hands, and then he, you can say, cursorily, just casually, he turned over the pages of this Bible. And then he also vaguely means unclearly, he shook the church times also, means that magazine also. All right, so far. But one of the objects in McCleary's suitcase was puzzling him sorely. What is the meaning of sorely? Sorely means badly. He was, means this man was not satisfied at all. Who? The senior officer Jackson was actually not satisfied, because when he was frisking, when he was checking all these things, when he had opened the suitcase, he found a thing that really puzzled him. And what was that? Do you mind telling me why you have brought this, sir? He held up a smallish semi-inflated rubber ring, such as a young child with a waist of about 12 inches might have struggled into. You think of going for a swim, sir? Means, no, Jackson had taken something in his hands. And what was that? He had found a small semi inflated rubber ring. एक आधी सी फूली हुई रबर की रिंग थी, which was there inside the suitcase. And it was really, means odd, it was really extraordinary, because nobody would be able to use in any way. According to the official, he was not able to understand why this rubber ring was being carried by McCleary. And he asked that for what purpose he was carrying it, or was he going for a swim? Means maybe during swimming, the people, they could, you can say, attach these kind of tubes with them, just with their waist. But that, you can say, small semi inflated rubber ring was really small, and he could not keep himself inside it. McCleary's hitherto amiable demeanor was slightly ruffled by this tasteless little pleasantry. But McCleary, what is the meaning of hitherto? Hitherto means till now, amiable means friendly, demeanor means behavior, means till now, McCleary was very innocently, very honestly, he was standing, and he was very friendly with the officials of the prison, and his behavior was very friendly till now. But now he actually was ruffled. Ruffled here means he was disturbed. Ruffled means he was disturbed by this tasteless little pleasantry. Pleasantry means with this, by this question, by these kind of talks, he actually was disturbed. And he answered Jackson somewhat sourly. Sourly means bluntly, in a very bad way, very rudely. He replied, "If you must know, I suffer from hemorrhoids, and when I am sitting down for any length of time," means, then this was said by whom? This was said by McCleary. McCleary told Jackson that why he was keeping that semi-inflated ring with him, because he was actually suffering from piles. Piles is a disease, and he was not able to sit properly on hard surfaces. And whenever he had to sit for such a long time, he was, you can say, he had to put that half semi inflated rubber ring just below, and then he could sit on it. "Very sorry, sir, I did not mean that." So hemorrhoid here means, you can say, piles. Very sorry, sir. I did not mean. The embarrassment was still reddening Jackson's cheeks, but after knowing the purpose behind that semi inflated ring, Jackson was really embarrassed because he had actually asked a very bad question from the invigilator, Mr. or maybe McCleary. I think I would better keep this though, if you don't mind, that is, sir. It was 9, and then he actually found a paper knife also. There was a paper knife inside the suitcase, and Jackson was asked to keep all those things which could be used as potential weapon. So he took the paper knife away from the suitcase. It was already 9:18. Now again, very important, the timing is, the examination was scheduled to start at 9:15, but it was already 9:18, means the examination was late. It could not start at 9:15, quarter past 9, before the governor heard their voices again, and it was clear that the examination was going to be more than a little late in getting underway. Means it was already clear that examination would get started after some time, as per the schedule. McCleary, you have got a watch. Evans, yes sir. McCleary, I'll be watching you, telling you when to start, and again when you have 5 minutes left. All right, silence. Then McCleary was giving instructions to Evans that he would be telling him when to start, when to, you can say, stop, and all these things would be told to him by McCleary. McCleary said, "There is plenty more of this writing paper should you need it." Silence. McCleary, "Now write the name of the paper. 021 means this is the, you can this is to be written on the left hand corner." McCleary was giving instructions to the candidate. He said that Evans had to write the name of the paper, that was 021-1 on the left hand corner. Then he again said, in the top right hand corner, write your index number, and then he also told him the index number, that was 313, and in the box just below that, write the center name, that was 271. So these things were said, these things were told by McCleary to be written by the candidate Evans on the answer sheet. 021 was the name of the paper, 313 was the index number, and the center number was 271. This is the end of the page 77. Tomorrow we will continue from the same page. Till then, please take care of yourself. Please keep studying. Thank you very much. Stay back home.